eventually, at some point, there was a man at Concord who decided he was going to pull the trigger. And I feel like we're getting back to a point where somebody's going to have to pull a trigger, because everything we hold dear, everything this country was founded on, is being just dragged through the mud and mocked and made fun of. This country was founded on godly principles. No matter how offensive that is to the left, it's true.
Godly principles dragged through the mud, and someone is going to have to pull the trigger. That is right-wing commentator Curt Schilling. He is better known for a Major League Baseball career that saw him pitch for 19 years and win 3 world championships. Sadly, since then, Schilling has lost his mind. In this appearance on Fox News, he advocated for somebody to engage in violence to try and stop the Justice Department's federal case against Donald Trump for violating the Espionage Act. Never mind that Donald Trump has admitted taking classified documents and refusing to turn them over. And never mind that the Espionage Act is settled law. Even worse, take a look at Schilling's reaction when Fox host Jesse Waters, perhaps a bit shocked by Schilling's bloodthirsty rhetoric, gave him an opportunity to step back.
Well, I'm going to assume that you mean pull the trigger metaphorically.
Absolutely. Well, no, I mean, it doesn't matter if I say metaphorically, because they're going to run with that quote no matter how I put it. I could have phrased it in any possible way, saying stand up and fight and blah, blah, blah. And I would be inciting a riot while Maxine Waters says, you know, get in their face. And
no,
beat
I
the hell out of
understand.
them
And I've said this to Jim Jordan. I've said this to these congressmen. You know, they throw a subpoena around. They fire off a really bold letter. Gotcha. Republicans need to go on the warpath.
Go on the warpath. And that is Jesse Waters throwing away any sense of rhetorical or moral integrity to the wind, perhaps to match Schilling. I get the Republican anger and frustration that their party, once known for embracing law and order, now has a leading presidential candidate who has been criminally indicted in multiple cases. And when you combine Donald Trump's reckless, illegal behavior with his supporters calling to defund the FBI and the Department of Justice, it sounds like the GOP wants total anarchy and a free ride for anything Donald Trump does. And if the GOP feels like congressional investigators into Democratic malfeasance are not producing anything or are coming up empty, like in the probes of alleged corruption by Joe Biden, one can imagine how frustrated the GOP might be. But to throw out our nation's criminal laws because a GOP leader is breaking them and a Democratic leader is not, and to just turn to violence to try and regain political power, well, that's insanity. But we've seen that before in the GOP. Remember January the 6th? And yet here is Curt Schilling's comparative view of Trump and anti-Trump behavior.
And the problem is that the left's winning because the left is relying on our morals and ethics. They know we'll play by the rules. They know we'll follow the laws. And they're not playing. You know, it's like fighting a guerrilla war.
The GOP will play by the rules, and Jesse Waters adds, we are too good for our own good. I get that Waters has been talking nonsense for years and has perfected his ability to appear like he actually believes this absurd stuff. But Curt Schilling, the man with the bloody sock in a victorious Boston World Series game 19 years ago, perhaps all of us missed a later pitching performance when Schilling got drilled in the head, because his cognitive abilities and functions through the years have shown clear evidence of permanent brain injury. How sad. By the way, in Michigan, a police officer just cost his department $9 million in lawsuit damages after assaulting a bicyclist who sought directions. Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.